Oh, hey, Instagram, it's me, T, from the Pattersons, taking the train to Tibet. Well, this morning I was supposed to give you a Grand Rising report as usual, but I got carried away. Because, let me say, this is a Thursday, which means it's an audio drama day. I'm always excited about audio drama. I think I can anticipate before it comes. I'm going like, oh, audio drama day is coming. Audio drama, where I get to talk about audio drama. You see? So what had happened was that, Mr. Neelyford Jr. passed, right? Went to the ancestral realm, and I wrote this poem. And I don't know. Sometimes when you get in some sort of a creative state, it sort of takes you over. It came through you, but you figure if it comes through you, then you can release it into the world, and then you can go on to other things. But sometimes it comes through you, yes, but it also, it's like a meniscus level. It's like it goes out, but it's sort of like when it goes out with such force. It's like a vibration, and still vibrates within you, and it might take longer than you think for it not to. It never completely leaves you, of course, like that, but to leave in such a point where where it doesn't block you from other things. Look, I don't know what I'm talking about. Well, I do know what I'm talking about, but let me get to the point here. So now normally, okay, so I missed a Grand Rising report this morning. Well, it doesn't make any sense. At night I can't do that. So I might as well continue it and do my regular audio drama, Thursday kind of thing. Because, Fridays I do a week wrap up, whatever I missed during the week, something like that. And on Saturdays, whatever comes to my head. Sundays, I do a reading. On Mondays is a me day. I talk about me. Tuesday is a U.S. day. Stuff that's happening in the U.S. And Wednesdays is a world day. So I sort of, it's a loose format. These are the night commentaries. These are the tirades. These are the ramblings. This is what you don't really want. This is what I know it should annoy you. In fact, most of them goes anywhere between whatever minutes and like maybe in the 25 minute thing. I don't time them. I just riff, right? And but where it comes from is that it comes out of a growth of my YouTube channel, which is supposed to basically record my my journey through life at this particular stage of my life, because I tell everybody they should be, recording their elders and that. It's a long story that I talked about some other point. So basically, this is like reflections, and this is like this, whatever it is. And then during the day, I might post other little things, usually on health or stuff that I send things to people. I comment on I reply on people's replies, right? But I don't do that, I don't do stupid or trolling stuff for me. I'd be like deep, real deep. Why? Because, okay. So I do that. So what I'm saying is like this. There's many facets to audio drama. So we're talking about audio drama day. And one facet I don't really talk about a lot is that in audio drama, yes, I teach it, facilitate, whatever you want to call it, curate it, whatever you want to call it. And I use it as a, as a tool for community development as well as a literacy tool, you see? Now, me personally, like, I've been trained in all facets of let's call it performance. Theater, started in theater, I had poetry groups, all kinds of stuff, Even public speaking, if you will, right? So you say, well, you always just mix it up, and we don't think that. That's because I you know what I'm saying? So anyway, but the most, not challenging thing, but the thing about it in theater, I'm like a technical person, but I've been trained thoroughly from the Negro Ensemble Company and a bunch of other places in all aspects of theater. Talk about I stage managed dances for a long time. I acting. Now, as an actor, I realize. Now you say, well, you're an actor. That I don't really act. I should say I don't. Not that I don't enjoy acting. The problem is acting takes too much out of me. I'm one of those actors that immerse themselves. So I'm like, I did was the palm wine drinking with the school chair, teacher, what's it called? Not La Jote, it starts with L. Anyway, I played that thing. It was a dance kind of thing we did, and I learned the lines. I know the lines already, but I won't say I was nervous on stage. But I was nervous on stage, and if the thing went on for a long time, if the run was long enough, I would eventually settle into the role and really be very good at it. But it always takes me time to settle into something. And a lot of things that I do, I know where it is, but I also know where it's going to be, right? So for instance, this Miss Neely Fuller Jr. passed. I wrote this Quinzaba. It's a poetry form that's 7 lines, 7 words to a line, no word more than 7 letters except for proper nouns. It's invented or progenited by Eugene B. Redmond. Okay, that's where I learned it from. But I usually use the form for special occasions and for passings, stuff like that. So this Mr. Neely Fuller Jr., I'm affected by him because of some other things, and I really want people to understand the importance of this great man. Look, I've known and worked with a lot of people in this, what do they call it, this sphere, whatever it is. You know what I mean? I was a Lambe brass engineer. I recorded for Lambe and Samoa for a long time. Yeah, I can't tell you how many people that whatever, like that. But out of all those people, James Smalls on my radio program, all these people, I don't care who they are. Out of all of them, and I never met Mr. Neely Fuller Jr. personally. I talked to him over the radio, over the transmission, over his thing. But there was just something about this. Here we say, this old man. I don't say old man. He's basically 20 years older than I am, right? But I have this thing that I say sometimes when people say something. If it wasn't for the mistaken geography, he could have been my daddy. That kind of thing, But more important than that, the preciseness of how he affected me. Right, I can't. For the last 15 years that I've been listening to him, and I got his books, even got the original book that was gifted to me from my fraternity brother. All this stuff. It's just, it's not. So anyway, the way you keep someone alive when they're going to ancestral is you have to dedicate, like usually, like in my sister's house, we have an altar to my grandmother and my older brother. And we have an altar there, right? In a lot of places, you should, in your home, you should have an altar that has, pictures or whatever, just a little space. Maybe you can burn a candle or something like that. Oh, I got a candle right here. So you keep that ancestor, that person of importance in your consciousness. Let's put it that way. Okay, that's why. Okay, so you keep it. That's why a lot of people have. Remember, you used to have the 3 pictures of. What is it? Martin Luther King, JFK, I guess RFK? What are the 3 triptychs? But some people have Malcolm, something like that. In radio, every radio station I ever been to, the community radio station, you always have a picture of Frederick Douglass and Maria Abdul Jamal. It's just very interesting. So anyway, I'm on this mission. and first you have to not convince yourself, but first you have to be it yourself. I'm going to go back to audio drama in just a second. Because in effect, what I want to talk about audio drama is that the through line to me, though sometimes I write, a lot of times I write, I direct, but every single one I produce. Okay, I'm a producer. In other words, I get the things together that makes this thing work. Be it wherever it is, I get it to work. Now, Mr. Neely Fuller Jr., I wrote this, like I said, the Quinzaba, from created by Eugene B. Redmond. East St. Louis, home of Miles Davis and a bunch of other people. And I have it. I got it right here. And I did it over airways. I did it over here right now. And every time I do it, I find more in it. Now, how this will evolve? Let me tell you how it is. When I teach audio drama, I teach it in what's called the objective point of view, or just dialogue, no narration. But the step before that, which I don't teach, well, that's just I do if people do what I say, is poetry. You do poetry first, then you do the dialogue, then you go on from there. And what is a dialogue but a play? What is that? But what is a play? But say what is a novel, a popular novel? But it's It's a dialogue with long descriptive passages. We can go on. You'll become screenwriter. Well, what starts with, well, if you want to go to the precursor to being a playwright, which I am actually trained, is poetry. And that's how I started writing poetry a long time ago, 1971 to be exact. Anyway, so if I do this poem, when I say do this poem, where it matters, like in front of this transmission here, every time I do it, I learn more and more about it. And I can eventually turn this poem into a dialogue, and eventually turn this poem into a play. You see? So I think I'm on that mission, because I have to hold up Mr. Neil Fuller Jr. He said, the grandest, most powerful human being that I have ever encountered on the face of the earth. I've known a lot of people. You have no idea. A lot of people. Been exposed to a lot of people. Okay? So the name of the poem, the name of the tablet is called Here to Teach. Now you know, it says, oh, here to teach, like here, like we're here to teach. But it's spelled H-E-A-R, Here to Teach. Okay? And it goes like this. It's a tablet for the master, that's how it says. I'm not going to break it down. I broke it down some other places. I'll eventually do that, but let me do the poem right now. To diverse in the plenty was he, teacher of the many his task be. Known to some, introed to us all, the grand man of our master class became the sturdy, steady to prevent chaos. With written to the vocal so needed towards our final freeing as human beings. Okay, now this is a very rich, you don't know, that thing that I can turn into something else. When I will do it, I don't know. But I think that as much as possible, I'm going to push this thing. It's just comes from, it's not for me. In fact, let me tell you, Dean Bowman, great vocalist, the yodeler. Hey, Dean, a few weeks ago was National World Vocal Yodeling Day. I guess you know that. And he goes around the world teaching vocal. I should get him to teach me how to sing, but that's not the point. So I know him because he was he did an audio drama with me. One of my audio dramas, the last one I did before I left in I left my job in '96, whenever it was, called The Glorious Monster in the Bell of the Horn. Great piece. Larry Neal's Glorious Monster in the Bell of the Horn. Great piece. He was magnificent. He was unbelievable. Oh, Dean is good. He used to be the vocalist for Screaming Headless Torsos. The black rock band of the 90s, 80s, 90s, whatever. Anyway, so I sent him the poem because he had said something about, in his description, he had said something about he blah 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 blah. I said, oh really? Don't do that to me. So I sent him the poem. I said, oh, I didn't say challenge exactly. I did say challenge. I said, hey, so turn this into work on this, right? So let's see what happens. I'm not calling him out. I'm just saying this is what I do every chance I get. Some people's comments, I just did it in the cartoon people. I sent the poem in the comment section. I don't think I'm gonna do that much more. I did the three. I'm not gonna operate in threes. I'm not gonna really push this on that platform. I shouldn't say that because there's no absolutes. So anyway, let me get back to audio drama. So I'm a producer. That's what one of the things that I do is I produce. A producer brings things together, which in the mind system, I'm a white world bridger, means I bring disparate things together. Now in my thing, the greatest producer I've known was the late Tunde Samuels, a Peace and Blessing on his eternal. So from the National Black Theater. He was trained as a Broadway producer, but he said, cool, I got the training, I'm gonna go and hang with Barbara and Tia, I'm gonna stay in the community, right? And that's what he did, raise his children in the community and all the rest of that stuff. And his last play that he produced was a play that I directed, but it was written by David D. Wright. And I directed, he was the producer. And it's called Oya, it's a Yoruba piece right there. It was unbelievable. If you was there, you know. If it wasn't, like all theater, like if you missed it, you missed it. Now they film stuff, but it's not the same. Anyway, the point is, and That's an example. I mean, you get these examples in your life of what to do. So I'm saying here's one of the examples. But I'm a producer beyond that because as arts director, I'm actually producing the arts department, if you will, because I got to. I was into producing the arts department. I got to bring people together and sometimes make them do things they don't want to do, which with volunteers, poof, right? So now I have another opportunity. Oh, I can't believe it. Right now I'm doing a healing thing. I go to New York to get some service. Then I get back to South Africa, Southern Africa, and in DeBrother there was a shack theater built by Dr. DC, who's a force in the world, right? He builds these theaters, these little theaters, and it's in the village, the town. We get the village called the Zebalaza, which is right across from DeBrother. We call it DeBrother Shack Theater, but it's really in Zebalaza. That's the location. Don't worry about that point. So they have the theater. In that theater, because I'm associated, because the DeBrother Art Society is the organization that I'm associated with. I'm a senior advisor. Let's put it to that thing, which means I don't really have to do anything. They ask me a question, like I might answer them, I might not. Blah 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 blah. They do what they need to do, and so when that happens, when they get going, right? When I get back, we should have a group that I'm teaching audio drama to. That'll be my core group. That core group, I'll be helping them teach them how to write, and that's what a producer does. A producer sort of knows everything, but it's not. They're masters of some things. They don't have to be a master of everything, but they have to know everything. That's what I do, right? That's it. So let me leave you there because I don't want to make this too long. It's not done already. And so that's, I'll see you in the morning. Maybe I'll really do a Grand Rising report tomorrow morning. I'll remember to do it. All right? Okay. Talk to you later. Bye.